Good morning. Each week I have posted a video on your Canvas schedule, and you'll be able to watch that video and to learn more about the aspects of the assignment for that week and ways to practice. Be sure to watch the way that my hands and my fingers and arms are working, as well as, of course, which notes are being played. I hope that you will also find a few surprises in the videos, and that will make it a little bit more fun for you to go through the mundane process of watching these videos. All right, let's get to work. Please watch the video in the introductory module that discusses 5-finger patterns, which you'll do this week: the major, minor, diminished, and the various ways that you can change those up and to practice different coordination activities. First, I'd like to show you today a C major scale from the side angle so you can see how the wrist and the arms are working. Now you probably noticed that the arms weren't going up and down, so I was not playing. Also notice the elbow's not out. Instead, it's one motion up and down. That's very important as you're practicing this week. Also the minor. Now, okay, let's take that minor scale and notice the way that the thumb is moving. So what you can see happening is when I play the second finger, the thumb is behind it. It's behind the third. And then in the left hand, when you go down, see how the thumb is moving down? So it's there in advance, so I don't have to jerk the hand. So let your thumb be behind the finger. So that's one concept to watch for when you're playing these scales. Now the other is to remember aspects that you learned in the past about how the fingering works when you're working together. Okay, the other part of watching for the scale is to remember the fingering. And what you have to remember is your third fingers line up together. After that point, there's something occurs. So this finger is moving over. Now, do you notice that this hand's on a 2, this one's on a 1? And then they're the same, opposites. Third fingers are together. We got to get all the way up to C. Now here I am at this point. I know that my third fingers have to be together, so that logically leads me to know I have to have a fourth finger here, so the third fingers are together. So again, I would practice going like this. Stop on 3. Consider the fact that the 2s and 1s are opposite. Stop on 3. Remember to get to the top of the scale. I need to have third fingers are together. Something stops. 1s and 2s are opposite. So when working with your scales, remember to consider your fingering and to remember the aspects that the fingerings will work accordingly to that third finger process. The other element you want to remember is that your hands are arched, such as this, not like that, and not like this, which is super curved, right? Just a natural arch. You can put your hand on your head or on your knee and find that natural position. Okay, the next thing you have are chords in a key. So if you look at the first example here, you see that if I were in the key of C and played all of the stepward up, I have the chords in that key. Now you can transpose these. So let's say that I'm in the key of G. I know in G major I have F sharp. Any key that you'd like to do, you're able to create that. So let's pretend like we're in the key of D major. We know in D we have F sharp and C sharp, so we have You will do the same thing in the minor keys, and you're going to hear the difference between how the chords sound in the minor. Also, you have page 16 and 17. This is a great review for theory class of your intervals, a third, a fourth, on up into the octave. But the bottom of the page has major second, an augmented second, a major second, a minor second, a major second. So you're going to have to do those kind of listening activities in your oral skills class. So practice them and listen to them and see if you can say what the differences are. What's that one? Major is correct. What's this one? Minor is correct. What's this one? Augmented's correct. What's this one? Diminished. So major, minor, diminished, major, augmented. And that will occur on both pages. So I would encourage you to just take one exercise a day, train your ear, train your hand to feel those intervals. All right, you also have some harmonization activities on my way, up page 21 here. So if you have an F chord and a C7, that's just 1 and 5. So you will play that F and C as such. Here's the F, here's the C7. Just as, remember when you used to play that progression? So here's your C7, there's the F. Another chord we see is a G minor. You remember that G minor is a 2 chord. But when we played progressions last semester, we did 1, 2, 6, 5, 7, 1. So even though the music says G minor, you'll know based on what you learned in the past that you wouldn't play it here, but you'd go down and play it here. And the 5-7 root. So here is it from the beginning. Did you notice the part where it said F7? An F major chord, the 7th on the top, is 5 of the key of B flat. So in this particular case, I could play it F7 to B flat, or I know in the key of B flat, that's 5 of the B flat. So you have the two options in that place. So one of the things you want to watch for as we begin to get into secondary dominance in the future is looking for places that have something 7 that's not in the original key. So we expect C7 because in the key of F, C is 5. We don't necessarily expect F7 because normally you don't have an E flat in the key of F. So there something's been altered, something's been changed to get us to B flat. So that's where you'll watch for those. But in reality, you're not going to see many of those until next semester, or at the end of this semester, we'll see more of those. All right, so you also have the next page, and notice here we have the 1, the 2 chord, and then the 5. And we know we're going to go 1, 2, 6, 5, 7, add that to 1. 6, we did it in root position. 2, 6, 5, 7, 1. So this, when you play it, will remind you of that progression, which I did include in your introductory module of the review part. So here's the 1, here's 2, E is the second note. I need to put that in first inversion. So the E goes on the top, E, G, B. A 5 in the key of D is A. So the pinky A, root 3rd, and the 7th, and back to 1. So 1, 2, 6, 5, 7, 1. So the first line now we have a 6th chord. This progression 1, 6, 2, 6, 5, 7, 1. So now we're going to go so that's a little bit of a review from last semester, some of those chords that you had last semester. So we'll do those examples on 22. As you begin working on literature, I want you to start thinking as a pedagogue. So as you look at that first line, you're noticing that you have basically here an A minor chord. Different ways of A minor. The root and fifth, and then the root and fifth, and the whole chord. And then moving to G, doing the same thing, an arpeggiated of F, going to E. So that's going to help you when you think about practice techniques. So how can you play this to get some practice purposes of it? So if I take my idea of A minor, and I know that the left hand begins in this, I can put that together with this. That's my first position. My second position is going to the next thing. I have G again. So that would be a good warm-up kind of activity for this piece. Then after I have that down, I'm looking to see where else do I see that same pattern. It just has a repetition, right? That's important to note that the only thing different is the last measure, here to here. So once I practice this, I don't need to practice that. So that's one element I'm looking at. The next element I'm looking over here at the next page, that's totally different, right? But I see in my left hand, I have a melody. And then the melody repeats. So again, I don't need to practice this part. I need to practice these 2 lines and then go down to here. At the very end, I've already had that, basically moving place to place. So here, I'm practicing the melody alone first. You notice when I'm practicing hands alone, I'm trying to play musically. That's important. The right hand has chords. That reminds you of something, right? That's just a progression. So I want to practice that progression till I'm comfortable. So perhaps I might want to first start you notice there I just lined it up. I didn't repeat the right hand chord either. Just held it down until it changed. It's a good way to coordinate something. And then you go back, add it. Now let's see that in a different section, this part. You heard a crescendo, decrescendo. Did you notice the left hand was louder than the right? Watch my hands to see if you can tell how I did that. Did you notice the left hand moving more? The right hand was very quiet. Didn't move out of the place. The left hand did. Watch again. So that's important. Which hand gives the weight? The left or the right? How much it moves will create a bigger sound. That's that part. The beginning section. So I'm moving around from place to place. So So you also have the damper pedal that you'll be using. You'll notice you can put down. I play the note. The foot comes up and back down. So I don't want this. See, then there's a break, right? So play the note first and then immediately up, down. All right, so it's... On the coda, actually, I didn't notice it, but there's a left-hand marking, so it should be this. Left hand, right, and left. Left. And if we add our crescendo, it's... So you also have the damper pedal that you'll be using. You'll notice you can put down. I play the note. The foot comes up and back down. So I don't want this. See, then there's a break, right? So play the note first and then immediately up, down. All right, so it's... On the coda, actually, I didn't notice it, but there's a left-hand marking, so it should be this. Left hand, right, and left. Left. And if we add our crescendo, it's... Alrighty, my friends. Hopefully that video helped you and you're ready to go practice. Please refer back to it throughout the week to get some ideas about those positions. And remember that I'm only a phone call or email away. I'm here to help you, whether it be in your class piano or whether it be in dealing with the issues that we are dealing with in today's society. I wish you well. Bye.